Yesterday was nothing short of amazing.
Welcome back to the opening day of the 2014 North American LCS Spring Split.
Yesterday was a fantastic start to the 2014 season. We got to see Cloud9 versus TSM right off the bat. That game delivered with a surprise Teemo pick.
And the win, 17-9, your first game in the North American LCS in the 2014 split.
We're starting off the season with a super week, so it's a lot of games, and it's going to put these teams to the test, especially the newer teams like EG.
Zuna with another one now at 6-0 and 7.
And that fight was over before it started.
Yesterday we saw EG go 0-2 in their matches. They face CLG today and hopefully can put a mark in the win column. Curse versus XDG today could be a pretty amazing matchup, and it's going to be another test of some pretty new junglers, Zuna and Dominate.
Today, there's going to be a whole bunch of new games to come, and they're going to be just as good, if not better.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Day 2 of the 2014 North American League of Legends Championship Series Spring Split. We're coming to you live in front of this fired-up audience from our new studios in Los Angeles, where dreams really do come true. I'm David Freak Turley, joining me for the analyst desk is Joshua Jat-Leesman. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, Freak. I think you're doing pretty well.
Doing pretty great.
Because we got some big games coming up today. We actually have 5 of them as part of our Super Week, beginning with Curse, hoping to cast some bad juju on XTG.
Yeah, in fact, that's going to be the case. Now, immediately following our LCS coverage, we will kick off the North American Challenger League, where teams like The Walking Zed, VVV Gaming Red, and LMQ compete alongside other rising stars.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that LMQ matchup after the LCS today. And not only will we be crowning a Challenger champion each split, but the top 3 teams actually earn their berths in the LCS Summer Promotion Tournament. So the Challenger Series is very real.
It is, but first we're going to send it over to Riv and Kobe at the caster's desk to break down all the highlights from yesterday's opening day action.
Thank you very much, Freak. I am Rivington Bisson III with my court-appointed chaperone, Sam Kobe Hartman-Kensler. Yesterday was an exciting first day with more than a few surprises, but one development that didn't come as a shock, obviously, is Cloud9 ending day 1 first in the North American League.
You're right. Cloud9 did go 2-0 with wins over TSM and XDG.
Making it to the triumph return into LCS, we found that who else other than Hotshot GG manning the mid lane for CLG, and they came out with the W.
Yeah, Dignitas failed to ban out the hotshot Nidalee GG, and even though he missed quite a lot of spears, he was still able to get some zoning out of it, and they were really tight with their map movements, so they came out with a win.
Yeah, you could tell that was going to be a tough game for him, so he picks up the comfort pick and the champion. There were some unexpected picks yesterday as well, but everyone got super excited, obviously, for the Teemo pick.
Of course, we got to talk about Teemo once again. C9's High picked up the Teemo. You know, he was expecting sort of a difficult laning phase and ended up dying to Bjergsen, but really the whole pick was oriented around the Mushrooms late game, controlling objectives, and he did that well. Their team was able to, execute that strategy. Also, XDG, they picked up the Warwick. It wasn't quite as good as Darian's Warwick, but the effort was there, and Benny definitely had an interesting twist on it with the teleport, trying to get a gank off. Didn't quite work. But we also saw Zach returning to the scene. CLG's Nien took him in the top lane, going against Shyvana, which was a good idea for a pick. And, that was his most played champion during the summer split. So I like returning to those comfort picks that he has.
It was such a great variety of champions yesterday. And now we have to mention it. It can't go unseen, unheard, untalked about. Evil Geniuses as well, going 0-2.
So I guess between Evil Geniuses and their former teammates on Alliance, they are 0-6 right now on both sides of the Atlantic. Really tough start for them. They are going to have to step it up.
Well, there's another day to build on those scores. Let's take a look at where the teams stand after our 6-game opening day. In first with 2 wins is Cloud9 to start it off.
Then, tied for second, we have CLG and Curse, each with 1 win. And sharing 4th place are TSM and XCG after picking up 1 win and 1 loss each.
Yep, and tied for 6th place, we have Coast and Dignitas. And finally, in 8th place is Evil Geniuses. We'll see how that all changes throughout our 5 matches, beginning with Voyboy and Curse versus ManCloud and XDG. Following that, it's Cloud9 versus CLG.
Then Dignitas looks for a win against TSM. Following that, Evil Geniuses square off against CLG. And then we have Coast versus Dignitas.
As always, we'd like to know who you think is going to win today's game. So head over to lolesports.com, click on matches in the top right, go to week 1, and rock the vote.
After that, head over to Twitter and let us know in 140 characters or less what roster changes have been most successful and why.
And we're at LOL Esports. Make sure to use the hashtag LCS, then stay tuned in to hear if we read your answers on the air later today. Now, let's send it over to Freak and Jad at the analyst desk for an in-depth overview of who to watch today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Riv. There's always a period at the start of a split or the end of a sentence where teams are trying to find their groove. And while some are still working out the kinks, some others have actually hit the ground running really well.
Yep.
So, Jat, which players do you think we should be watching for today?
Well, first and foremost, I want to watch Hotshot GG because he won his reappearance in the LCS, and he didn't die in that game as Nidalee. I want to see if he picks any different champions, if he gets target banned, or if he lands a few more Nidalee spears as well. Zuna is another guy who I really want to keep my eye on because his first game as Olaf was fantastic despite all the criticism he got in the jungle. But then in the second one, he faltered a little bit on Elise, so I want to see how he does today.
And of course, I actually want to bring up the mid laner Pobelter and see how he bounces back against CLG. He does have the most kills on his team. He's putting it pretty well, but EG clearly needs some help here after their first day.
I also want to take a look at Balls from Cloud9 because he kind of goes under the radar. We talked about the Teemo pick. A lot of times we see Lemonation or Meteos, but Balls had the best KDA of anyone on Cloud9. I think he's going to have another big day today. And of course, I Will Dominate didn't seem to have a huge impact until that Smite steal in the first game. Whether he can control objectives for Curse, which is something they're like having on their team, and whether he can continue to perform and let them get a few more victories.
And we'll see if they can do it here. Of course, more games for all these teams today. And we're going to get to see how Zuna and Dominate do when Curse and XDG take to the Rift in our very first match of the day. Day 2 of Super Week continues right after this.